Welcome to another episode of In Your Business, where we dive deep into the stories, strategies, and successes behind local businesses that shape our community. I'm your host, Reeves Kurtner. Season 2 of In Your Business is presented by Moses Auto Mall of Huntington. Moses means more.com, empowered by the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce and Kindred Communications. Today, we've got a sweet treat for you, literally. Austin's homemade ice cream has been a beloved staple in our region for decades. And today, we're talking with the third-generation owners, Taylor Strickland Chambers and Tim Ruff, who have not only continued the family legacy, but also expanded it in exciting ways. From adding a second location a few years ago to launching their very own ice cream truck, they're growing the brand in ways that keep things fresh and innovative. We'll be chatting about what inspired them to take the leap into the mobile food scene, the challenges they face, the lessons they've learned, and the creativity it takes to keep the business thriving in today's market. Let's get in your business. Give us the history of Austin's homemade ice cream. Let's start there. And this was not started yesterday.
It was not started yesterday. It actually started in 1947, and that was Mr. and Mrs. Austin. And then they sold it to Guy Wright, I believe. Timothy, correct me if I'm wrong. And Guy Wright had it for many years. And the Austins actually didn't have it for very long. And then our grandmother bought Austin's from Guy Wright in 1983 and started just by herself and ran it for many, many years up until Timothy took over making ice cream from her for her. What was that?
14.
Okay.
14, yes.
2014, yes.
So going back to 47, do you know what Austin's ice cream was like then?
They only had I think maybe 12 flavors, 13 flavors if I'm not mistaken.
She always said, even when she took over in 83, there was only 12 flavors.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I don't know if that's
you
just
get what you get.
Yes. And she developed a ton of flavors, and then he came in and developed even more. I mean, how many do you think are in our
many.
lineup? No.
One too many.
I'd say we're well over 100 with all the dairy free and all that stuff now. We've probably surpassed 100 plus
and we
flavors.
how many do we keep in Cerrito? About
32 to 35 on.
Yeah, and then in the market we keep around 24
26.
Yeah.
What is that the fun part of the job, coming up with the new flavors and creations and all that?
Yeah, sure. I think that's what keeps my drive going.
Mm-hmm.
The creativity. I mean, because it's like any job. It does get monotonous sometimes, and you're doing a lot of times the same things over. But I guess that's where I find joy and just being happy to do what I do is finding stuff and new flavors and being creative. And then if people really like it, then it's kind of the reward.
That's right.
And I get to be the professional taste tester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still, this last 2024, 2023, can you name a couple new flavors that you've put out this last 18 months or so?
So this year.
Some of the breakfast ones, the dairy-free.
We have so many flavors I get lost of.
I guess
so
what I'm trying to ask.
The most recent one
was,
we just put out a blueberry cobbler or blueberry crumble is a dairy free, which everybody seems to really like. Bussin' brownie batter.
That was our flavor madness champion this year over chocolate brownie.
That's been a huge one with customers. Yes. Let's see. What else have I done?
We did a dairy-free apple cinnamon oatmeal that people are obsessed with.
Yeah, that's another.
We did that for ice cream for breakfast that we do back in February.
Right.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. You've created salted caramel pretzel a couple years ago, but we find that one, that's a people's favorite. I'm trying to think. We did a spumoni for Italian Fest this past weekend, and we only served it on the truck at Italian Fest.
So I guess my point is, I'm like, holy cow, this place has been around for almost 100 years, closing in on 100 years, and we're still coming up with the new flavors. Still combinations out there.
And we try to improve old flavors when we can,
and sometimes I run into supply issues, and where I have to. Whether it's a flavor,
That's right.
There's been issues in the past where my grandmother used this particular flavor base for years, and then all of a sudden they stopped producing it because nobody's buying it or whatever the case is. But so I got to go back to the drawing board and make it as good or better.
That's right.
And she'll let us know.
Yes, she will let us know. And she still tastes things for us.
So you all are third generation of your family now. What's it mean to continue on that family legacy, that family tradition?
I'd say it means everything to me, honestly, and I think it does to him. Both of us, I don't think this was our actual plan, and probably if you asked us 20 years ago, we'd be like, no, we're not doing this. Right. And but it's became it's part of our history with our family. It's carrying on the legacy that our grandmother put forth. Our mother has really made sacrifices for herself in order for us to be able to move forward with this business, and we're so thankful for that. And I know Timothy gets to tap into his creative side. I'm very bossy. I get to tap into, I was a coach for a long time. I get to tap into mentoring kids still, which I love. And I think it brings out the best of all of the best qualities we have in each other. I think that brings out those in running this business.
Let's talk about with your all's involvement, going back for those last 80 years. Original location, it's always been the original location?
Yes, that's
and then 4 years ago, is that right? 5 years ago now?
No, 6. Oh,
is it really?
7.
Is it 7 years ago at the market?
Okay, 6 years.
6 years.
I
would have.
sorry.
I seriously, I have no idea. So 6 years ago, for the first time in almost 80 years, a new location, and Austin's is now at the market on 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington. Let's start there. Talk about the decision. Why move to downtown Huntington? The new young kids are taking over. We're going to expand, and obviously I think it was a great decision. But talk about that decision.
We both had it in our heads, I think. It was kind of funny, and we hadn't discussed it with each other until one day we kind of came together talking about some different things, and I learned about the market opening, that Phil was opening that, and then I approached him about it, and he goes, oh my gosh, I've been thinking the same thing, and we had the location, so it made it a lot easier. So we just went full steam ahead. We did have to get permission from our grandmother, and I cornered her on a flight to Ireland, actually. And so she had to tell me yes. And we had an 8-hour flight that she had to deal with me.
Did she object to it? I mean, was she hesitant of it?
She's always been hesitant of expanding, because I think it was going to be too hard for her to do it on her own. And she's always preached, quality over quantity. So, she believed in both of us, so she knew, like, Timothy had taken the Cerrito location in New Heights with our social media presence and really growing the business, and I think she was seeing that, and so and I had ran the business before for her, so she, I think, really trusted us to then carry on the brand for her. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, at that time, Taylor really, she wasn't even having anything to do with the family business, and we've all worked there. And like we said, our teenage years, she worked there during college, I believe. But at the time of the market, when we was talking about opening that, expanding, she was still at Marshall working. But it was to the point where I was like, is this something? Do we, and I didn't really ever imagine going to Huntington. It felt too close to Cerrito. I was like, would that really work? Would you be creating business cannibalism, as they call it?
That's right, yeah. Right.
That's a real term they use. I learned that in college. Hey, I remembered something. I was thinking Barboursville, Tays Valley, but Ash, somewhere
I got it.
A little further. But that it just made sense, when, like she said, when Phil and Jim and them come with the concept, and I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
It's been successful.
Yeah, we didn't even tell them that we were Austins when we made the first meeting. We just wanted to see what the building was like, who because we didn't know them at that time.
That's right.
And just tried to approach them. We're like, we're an ice cream shop. And then once we kind of talked to them a little bit, we're like, okay, we're Austins. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes, you have to come in here.
It hasn't helped. It hasn't hurt Cerrito one bit.
No,
I
at
wouldn't
all.
think it is. And I hate to be like this, but here's one of the benefits, I think, of that second location. I think it has brought the Austin's name and the Austin's brand to a whole new audience.
For sure.
I don't regularly go to the Cerrito Canova area, okay? I mean, I'm in my own little bubble. We all are. Yep. We all have our own routes, and I go to Barboursville, you go to Huntington, whatever. It's just that's how people are. I knew the Austin's name, I knew the history, but it just wasn't on my route. Well, now the market is. It's a block away from where I work. We eat drink and play downtown. So it's become a part of that routine. And I guarantee I'm not the only person, too.
No, we had so many people when we first opened that were like, I've never had Austin's. And it's literally 7 miles away from the market location. But it takes about 15 minutes, sometimes 10, depending on how fast you're driving.
That's right,
but,
yeah, green lights.
So many people just didn't venture down that way. And CK, our Cerritos store is like a destination type of thing. It's the OG. It is an experience to go do that. The market is a convenience location, and
it's got built-in foot traffic, and all that.
It works for us.
Yeah. Talk about how has it impacted business, that second location?
Oh, it's grown the business. I mean, we do about I'd say we stay right at a third of. Sometimes we get up to half of the business we do in Cerrito at the market. So it is a lot smaller to run and all that deal. But I mean, we don't see any decline whatsoever in Cerrito. So it has literally just grown and grown, and we keep surpassing goals at the market of what our sales are. So we just continue to get that name out because there's still so many people, I think, in Huntington still that haven't been.
Of course.
And it's constantly drawing kids from Marshall too. They're new to town. They don't know about us. And so they're coming in, and we have the athletes in there all the time getting ice cream.
That's right.
So yeah, it's all new people coming in constantly. So
and I will see people, a lot of the, when Marshall hosts a road team, they stay at the Delta across the street. I've seen them in line at your place, right? Like, before their games or the next day. I've seen the soccer kids that are in town for travel tournaments, and volleyball kids that are in town for the, the event at the arena. So like you're getting those people too, right?
Yep.
That one and done. They might not ever be back in Huntington, but you'll take those too. So now the new growth, you didn't put in a new location, but now you got a food truck. You got an ice cream truck, I should say.
You got one that moves.
You got one that moves around.
And it is a new location.
That is a new location every day. Let's talk about that. And that's what I want to talk about today is a lot about, food trucks and mobile ice cream trucks, whatever you want to call it. What was the decision there? Did you have to corner grandma again on this one and be like, all right, now we're doing a...
No,
but talk about that decision.
No, that was us trying to decide if we were ready to take on more.
We've been talking about it for a couple years or more.
So. Talk about those conversations. What were those?
Well, it was kind of funny. What pushed us, we'd been talking about doing it. We talked about a third location, but it just wasn't feasible. We talked about getting a truck then, and then what kind of truck would that be? And they get pretty pricey. And we were looking at maybe getting a new one built. We have some friends in the industry that have food trucks, and really worked closely with them of like, what's your drawbacks, what do you like, what do you not like, all that stuff.
These local people?
No, they are. Okay. We are a part of a ice cream association. So we have a good buddy in Tennessee, and then another guy in Northern Kentucky that they have. One has a fleet of trucks, and the other one has just an ice cream truck.
Okay.
But we talked to them. Timothy's pretty close with Joey, but I think we were working Pogue Landing last year. And we would set up. Timothy used to do this setup with like a tent, a couple freezers, different things at some events, and we'd only do a small amount of events with that because it is kind of a time-consuming deal to set up. So one of our employees at the market had sent us a Facebook ad and as a joke kind of, and we saw it, and it was the most perfect truck that we could ask for, and it was in Louisville, Kentucky. So we went the next week to look at it and made the decision like, all right, let's do this. And we were lucky we had some funds from ERC, which helped us a ton, and we were able to then just put that into the business and grow it that way.
So how long were you having those conversations of, hey, we should do a truck?
Well, I think.
And then how serious did you get about it before you finally pulled the trigger on the
I think it's always been in my mind.
Yeah.
Like when she mentioned that my tent set up, that all started with the Pumpkin House in Canova.
Yes.
This will be like the 9th year we've been down there. I did Barbersville Fall Fest for a few years, and Pogue Landing was a first last year, and we enjoyed it. But so being there like at Pumpkin House, and I'm looking and seeing all these other trucks, I'm like, it seems like that'd be a pretty, And so, as time went on, we just It's just, and I think, she kind of covered everything there. Talking, that's what's great about, the Ice Cream Association. We go to the convention every year, and it's where we've won the awards and all this and that. But it's the networking with all these people that are doing the same exact thing we're doing. And
there's no secrets to the trade.
You get to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
So what'd you like? What did they say?
The truck. The biggest thing was keep it simple. No milkshakes. No, we don't do no sundaes. It is scoops and floats. Floats are they're simple and people enjoy them. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on this truck that you looked at in Louisville, you said it's perfect. What was perfect about it?
So it was a former edible cookie dough truck, and it had an ice cream setup. We made one change in it and we took the sundae bar out, so because we weren't doing toppings, and our buddy over, Jeff Maynard, shout out to him, at AFI Sheet Metal, helped us build a new shelf, and he fixed the back of it for us, but that was really the only things we had to do. And then we got it wrapped because they had a different wrap on it. We wanted to do our own thing. And Bullseye Total Media does most of our marketing and branding stuff for us. So they designed our wrap for us, and then Fidelity Wrapping Solutions then wrapped it for us with the help of Griffin Graphics. But they turned that truck into our dreams. It was amazing just to see it.
You mentioned cost that could be really expensive. I mean, where... If you want to give the price, you can, but if not, where was it? How much did it cost in terms of being expensive or whatever on
a brand new truck was looking at, I think it was looking at like $150,000 or so. And we were able to buy this truck for a third of that, $50,000.
Well, after all said and done,
we probably spent about $60,000
with your repairs and your wraps and everything. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So how does all this fit into your overall business strategy? What are your goals with the truck?
It's taken off. When we first got it, I was like, oh, we're gonna have to call these businesses, try to get things booked. This is gonna be a lot. I put it out there, and I haven't even had to contact anybody. It is just, I can't keep up with some of the inquiries that we get, and people book by going online. We set it up with a form, so it'll go to my email, and we book that way. But it's just been crazy and surpassed, I think, every goal of ours.
What kind of bookings are you getting? What do you mean?
So we do private caterings, and then so like a company like Kindred could call us up and say, hey, we want to get all of our employees ice cream. Will you come pull up the truck at Kindred, and we'll serve them all? Okay. And then so we'll do something like that for the whole company. We've had some birthday parties, small ones, but we do have minimums on things. But we'll do that. We'll do pop-up events. We went to Human Bean in Barbersville a few times and set up on their parking lot. We just inked a deal with Guthrie's, actually. So we'll be there on Friday nights following football games to set up as like a pop-up style. Yeah. So, yeah, there's all kinds of different avenues that we can take the truck and do different styles of catering and stuff like that. But mainly pop-ups and private events are
churches, schools, businesses, football games, you name it, birthday parties sometimes.
So many different weddings. We're...
so you mentioned like that, another location. Could you use this to go, hey, we kill it in Barbersville, we kill it when we take a thing to Ashland, maybe we should put the third location, a brick-and-mortar store here. Can you use that as research? Have you all looked at it that way?
Oh, for sure. That's kind of what we've talked about too when we do those pop-ups. We kind of, and we always want to keep track of how well we do at different events and stuff. But yeah, that's how you can see like what's the traffic like there, how many people know about us, how are they coming, and it's a great avenue to do that. Now we're not expanding anytime soon now, but it is a great way for us to be able to test the market.
What about regulatory hurdles, licenses, health department? What all goes into that?
It wasn't too bad for us.
It really isn't.
You don't have a fryer in there. Yes. You don't have a burner. That's a big advantage.
Yes. Things
right?
change drastically when you have hot food.
Yes.
Because where they have walls now where they have to have fire suppression systems, which is a pretty big deal.
Yes, it is.
Sure, it's pretty expensive. I don't know the price on them things because fortunately we didn't have to.
West Virginia just passed a law though where you get once you get your health department license there, you're covered in the whole state.
Okay.
So which has made it a lot easier.
So you don't have to go to every single city.
No. You have to inform them that you're coming,
city licenses.
But you do have to get the city licenses or temporary ones, or call that local city office to see, hey, what do you guys require for us? And some of them are pretty easygoing about stuff.
Health department runs through the counties.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we're going to Taze Valley, it'd be Putnam, so forth. But so we don't have to, if we go to a different county other than Cabell, because we're registered in Cabell, we don't have to, you know,
get another health inspection. But we did, where it's kind of tough being in the tri-state area right in the beginning. We had to go get health department inspections from all 3 states, because you do want to get legalized in all of those. And then we, like Ashland, we set up with a actual license in Ashland, not a temporary one. So it does help when you have that. But it's like we go over to South Point and their mayor's like, hey, come set up. We don't have to do anything extra. Okay. So it just depends on the local government in those different cities.
Yeah, each and every town and cities, most require a license. Some of the smaller ones may, you know, but most of the, you know, the Ashlands, the Irontons, the Huntingtons, the Barbersvilles, you know, you're going to pay a yearly fee. I mean, I think they have a temp.
They have temporaries in a lot of places.
One-time setup, it's not as much.
And if we're not doing a pop-up, if we're actually going to a place of business, we don't have to get that because it's on their private property. And we can just serve. It has to be a private catering, though. Like they're paying for all of it.
Do they come in, does the health department, you know, do a walkthrough of the truck? How does that work?
At different like fairs of events and festival kind of things, they'll come in and do that. When we first got our licenses, yes, they do that. And they do the full shebang for it.
Your initial, they come, and each state's different.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
here in Huntington, you got to get a fire marshal, then you go to the health department. Ashland, you have to have this plumbing inspection, then the health department. Actually, Ohio was actually probably the easiest thing.
Yeah, it was.
Just the actual health inspection. Yeah, I mean, but it was kind of one of the things I dreaded, having to deal with all 3 states.
But it hasn't been that bad. Paperwork-wise, hasn't been crazy. I usually do most of that stuff, but
our truck was built well.
Yes,
it was. Wherever those people, I think they had it built. It was built in Florida from a company who.
Yes.
That's what they do, is build those trucks, and because I think every health department we went to, they was like, "This is a nice truck." So.
In the city, fees and taxes and stuff, it's literally a moot point. It's super easy, so that's why I don't ever understand when people do say stuff about like operating the mobile food truck in Huntington or a business in Huntington.
Sure.
We don't pay a B&O tax anymore. It makes it super simple, and Huntington's super friendly for that kind of stuff.
Any advice that you'd give to people on the permitting process and dealing with the 3 states? Anything that you know you wish you knew before?
Making sure you need to do all that.
And
we really you just call the health department and get it set up.
They're really
they're really helpful. They point you in the right directions of what you need to do. We never had any issues. Good. And they were super easy to deal with.
Before you spend a bunch of money to build something, or if you
check the regulations,
call your health department.
Yes.
Ask them questions, because I think that's what a lot of people do, and that's why they end up getting aggravated. But you know, that's just something we learn. Even when we built out the market store, when we was doing things in there, that was the first time for me doing that, and so. Jessica at the Cabell County, she was super helpful, and you know, because she
let us get around a couple issues on our original design was not going to work with like some hand washing sinks and the placement, and she sat down with us and just helped us design it out a little bit differently, and it worked out perfectly.
That would be my biggest recommendation, is calling them and ask them.
Yeah, like Kentucky has certain plumbing you have to get done, and so it's gotta, if you know you're gonna operate in different states, you gotta call every single state.
Yeah, it works. I like that. I like the call in the head thing.
Yeah.
You said like your truck was, you know, the people that have inspected said it's good. What is it about it? What makes it a good truck? And another question, what advice would you give people looking to select a truck for food? Like what made it good, and what else should they be asking for?
That's not going to be a one-size-fits-all answer,
for sure.
Because it depends on what you're, you know. It's just
I will say one aspect of ours is the stainless steel being everywhere makes it a lot easier to clean.
I like that,
a lot easier to deal with. That helps a lot. But like you said, it's not going to be one size fits all. And it's really, we got lucky that they had the truck in Kentucky, so having that plumbing done beforehand helped us big time.
That works.
And then it just so happened that they are the hardest ones on that. The other stuff was all great in all the other states. So, but it was using someone that is reputable in the food truck business to build it is also a thing, because like ours was built in Miami from an actual food truck place. There are people that try to do it themselves and that kind of stuff, but you could run into a lot of issues. So that's I think why ours is so great, is because it was reputable people that built the truck itself.
How old is the truck?
It was built
that is an old USPS truck.
Is it?
Yeah. That's what most all these. I mean, you can buy new ones, but
of course
they're all old UPS, FedEx, Postal Service trucks. Ours was a USPS truck. It actually still has the tag in there.
Nice.
That truck's a 2003.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was built probably like 4 years ago.
Probably 3 or 4 years ago. I think they built it out.
Do you know the life expectancy of these vehicles? I mean, is that something that
it's going to be your engines and transmissions is going to be your.
The inside should hold up great. It'll just be.
It's all new. I mean, yeah. I got it.
Clean the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, those trucks. There's always something to fix. Just all there is to it.
That's it.
There's so many moving parts on that thing, and there's a lot of weight on that truck, and that's things I'm already planning on doing this winter to fix some things when we go in the down season.
Yep.
So,
where do y'all store it?
I have a good friend of mine that actually just built a huge new nice building down in Canova, and he's gracious enough to let us.
He's the best.
Do you keep it indoors?
Not during the summer, because really we're going out every single day.
Yeah.
So it's now in the winter. We've worked out where he's going to make some room, because I'd like to keep it out of the weather.
Yeah, sure.
During the winter, and we won't be using it as much.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest challenges in operating the truck, and how is it different than a brick and mortar location?
Time, because it has to be him or I driving it right now, and it's trusting others to drive it. We've allowed our manager to help us out a little bit, but we have to be there, so we have to go. So making time on our schedules as we're both running both locations. He's making the ice cream. Trying to find that and work it in our schedules. We made it work. It's been nice.
I started getting up really early in the morning to make ice cream.
Got it.
He makes ice cream at like 6 a.m. now.
Got it.
Yeah.
But that is our biggest constraint. Other than that,
I like it. I enjoy it.
It's been
fun going out, and
we're getting new people all the time.
When I mentioned earlier, the job can get monotonous. My job, making ice cream, same place every day, walking in circles, and I get to go to, like this evening, I'm going to a church over in Ashland area.
And tomorrow I go to
just
2.
different scenery, so.
I go to 2 nursing homes tomorrow, so like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
That people we're serving.
And most all these events, we're not there more than 2 hours.
Right.
It's not like a long. Now, when we do some of the festivals, whether it be,
like Italian Fest that we just did.
That'll be all day things, but we still would split that up sometimes,
How long does it take to prep the truck?
He does a lot of the prepping, but
I do it every morning. Like this morning, we was pretty empty because she decided
Yeah.
She went to school the other day thinking she was just going to feed teachers, and ended up being a full orientation of Buffalo Elementary in Wayne County.
I couldn't move my hands the
And
next day.
she was by herself.
Okay.
We usually always have, we have
people.
a worker with us.
Right.
She thought it was just going to be a few teachers. Right? But so anyways, so it was kind of empty today, but
Yeah.
I mean, within 20, 25 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's not
it's
bad
super
at all.
easy.
No.
Super easy to clean, and it's easy to pack up and set up. It takes us like 10 minutes. And
you said ice cream floats only. How many flavors of ice cream will you put on the truck?
Usually 12.
12.
And so how do you, let me ask you maybe like a dumb question, but how do you keep your menu updated? Is it always the same 12 flavors?
No.
Or
No, we have
always-
magnets.
you got a magnet
Yep.
menu?
There's a few flavors. Chocolate vanilla strawberry.
We keep.
Usually never leave home without grape pineapple.
Yeah.
The other stuff we rotate.
rotate
It's
it
usually
through.
what I have stock of. to be
Sure.
honest.
Yeah.
If I have it, because the stores, it's kind of one of the things. The stores come first. We want to make sure we have stuff
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
The truck,
Yeah, there's a hierarchy where we keep the ice cream.
Well, is there a difference on what you put on the truck versus what you would have in a store?
Depends on where we're going.
Mm-hmm. Well, like at Italian Fest.
Yeah,
we did
you wanted to do
spumoni.
Italian ice cream
Yes,
or whatever.
we did that.
Gelato.
So that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That would be usually the only reason of some kind of special event that we have.
If you're going to a church or a school or a nursing home, is there something different? Like,
nursing home's going to be
like butter pecan pralines and cream.
The older crowd, and,
and they love our great pineapple at the nursing home.
They have different taste buds than 12-year-olds.
Kids are going to get cotton candy.
This church event tonight, I'm sure I don't know exactly what their event's going on, but I'm sure there's kids, so I'll make sure there's something on there that.
The bubble gums for the Superman, like the crazy flavors, right?
Cotton candy, birthday cake,
yes, all the kids' flavors.
Yeah. So, talk about the marketing of the truck. Some of these events, it sounds like people are bringing you all there as a added value, extra feature. But what about when you're going places? Do you all promote? Hey, join us at, and how do you promote that?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the best equation for that, but we try to put it out there. If we know we're going to do a pop-up the day before, we'll put it out there. In the very beginning, we were doing it the day of because we were kind of we weren't sure how it was going to go.
That's right.
And so when we are going to be at an event, it's either the day before or the morning of, usually is how we put it out there. We haven't found the sweet spot yet, so it's just kind of figuring that out still.
When it's private, like today, going to the church, we're not going to advertise that. Those people are paying us to be there.
That's it.
Yes.
So usually when we go out somewhere like that, especially for somewhere more public where people could pull up, that's not. We will ask the people that's paid for us to be there. Do you care if we serve other people? If not, that's fine too. So, but when we go to Barbersville, if we're doing a pop-up, like she said.
That or a festival, we'll tell them.
Yeah, sure.
There.
Yeah. Sure.
And we do that on both social medias for the market and Cerrito. We didn't create a new social media for the truck, so we can just keep our same followers kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's next for Austin's?
November.
Yeah.
What's November? It's closed down. They
shut down
Cerrito closes.
No, next we're doing a Scoops for Hoops. Or I don't know when this will air, but 26th through 29th of August.
Okay.
Where we do Superman ice cream and we donate our profits to the Hoops Children's Family Hospital. So that'll be a big one. We've got Pumpkin House coming up, Pogue Landing.
1st of September, the pumpkin flavors will be coming out. I don't know when this will be released.
Probably about 3 or 4 weeks. So by that time, pumpkin stuff will be out. Yep.
Pogue Landing is in.
That's the truck.
It'll probably be already over, but Pumpkin House will be the end of October.
And we have a new deal where we are going to be at the Marshall Home Games for the new concourse expansion that they're doing. Since there's no reentry, they're trying to make it more fun, and so there's going to be a lot of food trucks in there. So we are one of them that will be in there.
And you said Austin's is closing in November. Clarify that you just close seasonally. We're not.
Yes. Let me.
Cerrito only.
Cerrito's last day will be October 31st. The market stays open year round.
Why is that? Why do you keep the market open? Why do you close Cerrito?
Because Cerrito's never stayed open.
And we own the building down there here. At the market, we're paying rent, so
might as well be open.
And it's easier for me to keep.
I don't think we've really ever lost money. Anyways.
No, we haven't. We kind of break even having our employees still.
We do the ice cream pies during the holiday seasons, for Thanksgiving, Christmas.
And we did Stuff Your Stanley last year, which was nuts, and then we do ice cream for breakfast in the winter. So we'll probably do Stuff Your Stanley a little bit earlier in the year next year. So we'll see.
And if people want to contact you all again, going back to the food truck for the catering, are you using that for everything catering now, or are you still?
Yes. So
that's your
our website. We do other caterings. So we have ice cream crocks where people can pick those up and then they can scoop themselves at an event, or we can send someone in to scoop for them. We can set up a sundae bar. We have ice cream packs that you can buy, like a 25 pack of scooped flavors. And get a freezer bag for it, but that we list that all on our website, and so it's austinsicecream.com/catering, and all the options are on there, and there's also a form that you can fill out and specify what you're interested in, and then I get back to you about
Got it. What other, as we're wrapping up here, what other advice would you all give to small businesses like yourselves that are wanting to expand either through a new physical location, which you've now done, or new ventures like a food truck? What advice would you give those people?
I would say just take the chance. It was hard for me to take the chance. He was all for it. I sometimes
Which one?
like a
Market or food truck or both?
all of it. I'm a little bit more reserved sometimes with things, and he's like, "No, we've got this. We can do this." And it's trusting yourself to know that you can do this. And there's so many outlets out there that can help you. We didn't use per se some of them, but like Bright Futures located in Huntington helps anybody trying to start a small business. The SBA is in Huntington. They have offices here. There's so many different things that you could like utilize, because I didn't know when we were setting up business licenses and our LLC for the truck or our S Corp for the market location. You don't know all these things. So go find the help and ask for help, and there are people out there that will help. And try to use those avenues.
I like that.
I would say ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice?
Yes.
And do you want to work? Do you want to work more if if you already have a business, you want to expand? Do you want to work more than you already do? Do you have people? We're lucky as a family, with my mom and us too. We don't have to kill ourselves each and every week to operate 3 different entities of a business. But a lot of people don't have that. So
or find people
I think sometimes
you can trust.
people will swamp themselves and realize, and they don't have time to do nothing but work. So, and nobody really wants to do that. So, and I would, I think the other aspect is there a demand for what you're selling, whatever it is. I don't care whether it's pizza or chicken or ice cream. Is is your current location doing okay? Well, just because you go buy a food truck, if this one's not, So, I think look at those things and just like Taylor said, use the resources that the area offers.
Another thing is don't expand too fast. Some
not.
people get so excited that they're so successful in something, but then they try to go too fast. I mean, it took us 75 years to get a second location. And you've got to do the research. Make sure you're good, you're stable enough to expand, because like he said, it's you. So do you have that? Do you have those people in place that are going to help you do that, or you're going to make yourself like spread it way too thin?
Well, and something else that you said too earlier that we really didn't talk much about was you said you're members of the Ice Cream Association. What's the group called?
North American Ice Cream Association.
Okay. And obviously you've benefited greatly from that. Won some awesome awards, but then it sounds like you've gotten great networking, advice, panels, whatever, seminars, and all that kind of stuff. And I guarantee there's an association for everything. If you're doing pizza, if you're doing hot dogs, whatever, take advantage of that kind of stuff too, right?
Yes.
Like that's been good for you all.
Yes, big time. That it's helped us tremendously. Like, obviously we've been in business for this long, but we go to he went to the first convention himself, and then the next year I started going, and you think you know a lot, but there's still so many things you can learn. And,
of course.
And like you always say, you never stop learning. If you think that you're above it, then you're gonna fail. So
well, and things change.
Yes,
taste buds
constantly
change.
Yes.
I bet Austin's wasn't doing pumpkin stuff 80 years ago,
Exactly.
right? And this blueberry crumble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just things change.
Technology changes.
I had to drive to Wheelersburg yesterday, and I texted Taylor. I said, "So what is this podcast we're going on?" And so I looked you up because I listen to all kinds of podcasts. But so I listened to some of you and Drew from Buttered Up, and then some of you with the Christopher Eats, and the topic was kind of changing what's trending. And for us, it's not any different. It's the dairy free has become a huge thing. So much so the convention created for that flavor of the year. There's a dairy free section.
I believe it
because there's so many people that's really jumping on board with that. So, that's
it helps us evolve constantly.
Of course.
Anything, I don't know. Usually I'm stealing stuff from other people normally.
Yeah, but we all promote that in our association. It's like, you're not stealing it, guys. Like, just let's help each other and use each other's ideas.
Well, make the industry better.
Yeah, like Stuff Your Stanley came from our friend Joey. He did the very first one. He's about to do another one, but And then everybody in our association did it and had
blew
ridiculous amounts of success.
Love it, yeah.
And it was awesome just to see. And Joey shared his idea with us. He didn't have to, but
Yeah.
he shared it with us and all the ins and outs of it. And
That was
then
the
we were
record
all,
day for Austin's.
Yeah.
All time.
All
At
time.
the market, beat any day that
that
Streeter's
Streeter's ever had. And we only did it at one location.
Love it.
So
All right, last question. What's your favorite flavor?
Gosh, I hate this
You
question.
love
I
that
know.
question. You love it.
I have like 4.
All right, spit them out.
Okay, we've got new flavor, OG flavors.
Okay.
OG flavor, I have to have them together, and it's chocolate brownie fudge and black raspberry.
Okay.
Then new flavor, probably it's between Bustin' Brownie and salted caramel pretzel.
Okay.
I usually always say cherry nut.
Yeah.
I just like cherry ice cream. I do, and that's an old school. That's one of my grandma's old recipes. And let's see, one of my new flavors, new school ones would be, I don't know, that Fluffernutter is pretty good.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's good.
I love the salted caramel pretzel. I love the salted caramel.
Yeah.
In general, cookies and cream.
It's
man.
so good. I know,
They've
it's a classic.
Been around for 1,000
Milkshake,
years.
I'm going cookies and cream milkshake.
Yeah, I
Love
love
it.
cookies and cream also.
Lavender honey's also another one I love.
Yeah,
But it was
that's-
good.
They finally convinced me to make
Yes,
flour
we
ice
made
cream.
that for my wedding, so I had to
There you
get
go.
him on board with it.
Look
But
at
it's
you.
delicious.
Perfect. And that's our episode. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and even leave us a 5-star review. Season 2 of In Your Business is presented by Moses Auto Mall of Huntington, MosesMeansMore.com, and powered by the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce and Kindred Communications.